Hey everybody, this is Matthew. I'm just trying to make a video here to whom it may concern, or just viewers in general, to about my experience with Honda buying a 2016 Honda Accord Sports and how terrible it was. I bought the car just almost exactly a year ago from Ocean Honda of Burlingame. I notified them because I'd already bought a car through them. I contacted the original sales associate, letting her know I wanted to buy another. I then, get a call a couple days later letting me know there's a certified pre-owned car in stock that was just traded in that I would really like. I get there, I look at the car, then I'm told that it's not a certified pre-owned, that it's going through the process and it needs to actually get sent to the factory, inspected and sent back, and it's about a 7-day or longer process. Or I was given the option to just, them to cancel that process, and then they can give me a huge price reduction, which I went for at the time, not realizing that was a complete lie, a sales scam that they went through on me, just so they didn't have to basically repair the car in any type of way that they probably should have, and then just sell it to me at a, cheaper price and just make more money on it and not having to put repairs into it. Well, that's what happened. Yay. A number of months later, I'm driving on the freeway. I get a low air pressure light. I know to check for low air pressure when I'm filling up my gas. So I've checked on this car before, filled up the air, just made sure it was good. But, I'm getting this light, so I'm going to pull off the road. I never hit anything, by the way. I never did anything whatsoever, but as I'm on the off ramp to get off of the freeway, I guess it pops. I've noticed a huge control difference. It's, going flat. I pull over, get to the safest spot I can, and I go to put on my spare, but it's a locking lug nuts that I was never given the key to. So that's strike number 2, pretty much. I take it back to Honda, because I need to, be able to get a new tire on it, and I can't take off, the old one. They then inform me that it's aftermarket locking nuts that they don't have the keys to, but I should have been given the keys. They told me upon the selling, even if they were aftermarket, the locking nut key. I was never. So they then have to charge me almost $300 in just maintenance or just labor in order to rip those off and be able to, change my flat tire. So I do so. I pick up my car a couple, I think it's 2 days later, and I noticed that almost every single lug nut on my right side of my car, except for one, is different colors, and I only needed 4 exchanged. So I kind of thinking to myself, what the heck? Why isn't there just 4, and why aren't they on one each rim? Why are they all on one side? So, basically, I then realized, shortly after driving the car, that my steering wheel is starting to shake, the car is starting to shake. I make another appointment, take it into them. One of their inspectors drive it with me in the car. He lets me know that, it's definitely not driving right. They basically, oh, by the way, also, my check air gauge was going off and on every time I turned off the car, which was another reason why I made the appointment, other than it driving weird. But so, I drive with him. He lets me know, hey, once you hit 30, over 30, it's something's wrong. It's not driving how it's supposed to. It's not safe. And so they didn't inform me it's a bent rim. They give me the cost it should be, to over the phone after I left. They called me a couple hours later saying, hey, this is the cost. I'm like, no. I was like, I didn't have a bent rim. I had a flat tire on the passenger backside, and the bent rim is on the driver's front side. I took it into you guys without any damage like that to it, and I get it back with damage like that. I was like, it's not me. I'm coming in to speak to the manager. I come in to speak to the manager. After going back and forth, her basically telling me it's me, I have to pay for it. I then ask for their insurance information. I want to make a report. They then basically call over the person that worked on my car. He creates a bunch of excuses saying that he didn't replace all of the extra locking nuts. It would have been extra work and extra parts. There's no point in doing that. It wasn't him. So they basically then agreed to replace my part free of cost. And so, I leave the car there about 6 days later, or 5 to 6 days later, I call up hey, is my, my rim there? Can I get my car? What's good? And they're like, no, nothing's here yet. Yada. Let me put you on hold and, figure it out. They never put me on hold. They must have just put the phone down, because I hear him talking to the manager. And she's like, oh yeah, we haven't ordered it yet. We're waiting to the closer to the end of the month so we can pay less out of our fees or whatever. I didn't fully hear what she was saying, but they were basically waiting till the end of the month so they could pay a cheaper price on it. So I was like, well, wow, thanks for not putting me on hold. I'd just love to hear that. So another 3 days goes by, and I was able to then get my car. Yay, finally. Um, and I'm just tired with them. I mean, apparently, I guess they never put it through their insurance. They just literally replaced it at cost. That's what the paperwork shows. When I picked up the car, I didn't pay a single thing. They paid for everything, and bent rims are not under any warranty I've ever heard of. So that's like another strike. Jesus, right? So that's the first account. Now I'm done with Ocean Honda. I didn't even complain to American Honda. I'm just done. I'm just gonna take it to another Honda facility. Don't want to think about that anymore. Just move on. I'm happy with my car. It no longer has a bent rim. I start to get extreme electrical failures. My dash and almost every single interior light I have is flashing on and off a little over a month ago. I call my car in to the next closest Honda, Victory Honda of San Bruno, make an appointment. It's kind of far out. It's like a good number of days, like 5 or 6 days. So I take it into another mechanic just to get a basic check on it and to see if he knows what's wrong with it. He basically confirms 2 error codes off of it that should be under emissions warranty here in California, and that should all be warranty work. Just go into my appointment. He didn't want to do anything to it because he was like, "You're gonna get it all paid for." So basically, I then, I called up, the factory. I got a case number. I gave them the information. Come into Victory Honda San Bruno. I give them the information. Let them know what needs to be replaced from what the other mechanic said. And they then take a 30-day consecutive, I kid you not, 30-day process of going back and forth of replacing different parts, looking at different parts, trying to tell me that certain parts, might need to be replaced, even though I know they did not need to be replaced. And I told them that. And then literally approaching like 26 days, they finally agreed with my original mechanic diagnosis, and then they order the parts necessary to replace all that. 30 days, on the 30th day, they, get everything replaced. I come in, pick up the car. They then, basically, really nice to me. They kind of like bullshit me a little bit, just chatting up with him and one of the mechanics. Had actually a nice experience, as far as like that picking up the car goes. I am just so excited to pick up my car. I don't notice that it's still not properly working. Some of the inside lights are still not working at all. They're not flashing, they're just not working now. And I have charging ports in my car that don't work now. And I realize even later that I have scratches and even chips in my interior all throughout it, and even a missing like rail cap piece. Like, what the heck? Again, receiving my car back with damage that was not there when I dropped it off at a Honda dealership and a different dealership, back-to-back instances, where, by the way, it sat for 30 days and I was not given the option to have a courtesy vehicle. So I had to drive a family member's vehicle, complicating my life quite a bit, for 30 days. So I called my case manager up. I can't get a hold of her for 2 days, by the way. I can't get a hold of her, can't get a response. So then I do ask to speak to a supervisor. I was told, by the way, she wouldn't get a hold of me until Monday because it was a Friday. And at that point, I'd already waited over 24 hours since I contacted her, and I was told it would only be 24 hours or less. I was irritated with this whole situation and that. And this is the case manager from the factory, or the American Honda Association. So basically, she then, after I put in a request to her supervisor, then called me back to tell me that there was nothing she can do whatsoever. And I'm sorry, I've worked in customer service my whole life. That is not the answer you give. You say, "Oh, I'm sorry, the damage is technically like out of my control, but your car's still not working. Would you like to take it into a different facility? It's warranty work. She could have done anything just to make it sound nice. Like, I'm sorry, she was not trying to do that. And she was lying to me, because after she told me there was nothing she can do, I re-asked the question. You can't help. I just want a game plan, I told her, of basically how I can get my car fixed from the damage that was done and from the work that is under warranty in order to fix my car in a timely manner where I don't have to be out in my car for another 30 days. Nothing I can do for you, sir. You have to go back to a dealership. And so I was like, well, what you can do for me is begin the process for a California buyback clause. Because under California law, you had my car for 30 days, attempted to fix it multiple times, still did not fix it, and it was all warranty work. Not a single was out of my expense, and it's still not fixed. So under California law, because of the 30-day consecutive day I am allowed to legally ask for a buyback and go through that process. She then immediately tells me that I am denied and my information I have is wrong. Within 10 seconds tells me I'm denied, by the way, of me requesting that. I had to let her know that is not legally correct. California law states otherwise, and I want to begin this process. She changes her demeanor a little bit and starts talking to me about the process. I then ask her, when can I expect a phone call back from you, with some information of this? She says approximately 7 days. I'm not convinced she even started the process, so I'm also going to ask for paperwork, whatever decision they come up with. The other problem here is also I like, what do? I have a car that's not functioning correctly. I have a car with damage, and both dealerships I've worked with have left damage to my car. I really am hoping that maybe someone knows a good lawyer that I can contact, or just some more information that could help me, because this is ridiculous. I really feel like they've literally effed me over, pardon my French, but I've never ever heard of anything like this before. I would never buy a Honda. I would never recommend anyone to ever buy a Honda again. I think the factory in itself has some of the worst customer service ever. I'm still waiting to hear back from a supervisor. I have just lost faith so much in Honda, and I really thought they would be a good company and a good experience to buy a car from. I was wrong. So please, if you guys could, message me back, leave comments, anything with any information would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to go over all of it, guys. Thank you again, and, just God bless everyone. Thanks.